And basically to explain two things. First, the market pressure area that we have on the cross pairs that we use as an example, and then also the open and closing prices that we have on the currencies and commodities that I'm about to tell you now. And then knowing how the market closes and knowing how the pressure of the market is and the asset that I want to trade, then I can plan my strategy like free risk or without or with more risk, depending on the risk tolerance that I want to add into my trading. So now let's get started with euro dollar, for example. And euro dollar opened, the market opened down below here. This is the two open prices of Europe and United States. And then what happens is that the market is about to close, and Europe market about the closing and about the closing of US as well. And that means that euro dollar is going to finish for the buyers, and that means that next week we expect euro dollar to move up, to the price to keep moving up. And the good thing about this is that euro dollar is into buy pressure area. The only thing that we see is that in the area that we are trading right now, euro dollar is not going through the highs, and the highs in the area of today are 1985, 1976. So as long as the price is not moving towards the highs, then we don't expect the price to go back to the 120 again. So that gives us the conclusion that we can buy dollar CAD, but not farther than the highs. And if instead the opening on Sunday the market goes back down to 1940, 1943, that means to go over the opening prices of today, because like we said, if the market finished above 1950 today, means the market is going to finish pushing for the buyers, not for the sellers. Now, it's not going through the highs, even though it is into buy pressure area. So we do not recommend to sell euro dollar at the moment, not to buy. And if we buy euro dollar, it's going to be from the highs. That means about 1985. And if we sell, it's going to happen below 1940. Now, if we sell next week, or if we sell the opening of the market on Sunday or maybe on Monday, depending if we have opportunities or not on the opening on the weekend, then we might sell from 1940, 1943 down to 1923, you see. And the sellers get more aggressive down below this market area, down below 1923, 1910. Okay. So what do we expect for euro dollar next week? Well, we're supposed to be going through the highs today, and we did not. So most likely the market for next week for euro dollar is going to be for the sellers. It's going to happen for the sellers, not for the buyers. Okay. Now let's see with the dollar CAD, what do we have now? Let me delete all these little lines. Are just lines that I put with prices that we enter and we exit. So dollar CAD is going to finish for the buyers. The market is going to finish for the buyers. Europe opened here. US opened here on this area. That means the market is going to finish with open interest for the buyers. So we expect dollar CAD to move up. Now, dollar CAD is in sell pressure area. So we don't consider an opportunity to buy below 122 basically. So below 122 is not an opportunity for the buyers. We expect instead to get prices, sell prices down below the market price, which is 21.79, 21.76. Those are prices to sell dollar CAD in the area. Those are prices to sell dollar CAD in the area, not to buy. Below 122, we don't consider buyers get aggressive, but below 21.76, we consider that the market gets ready to sell. And since it's dollar CAD, it's into a sell pressure area, we rather sell, or we rather wait for sell prices. But if instead we get dollar CAD next week on the opening on the weekend or on Monday, we got dollar CAD about the 21.93 and 21.98, and 22, then that is a sign that the market is going to go through these levels and going to keep moving up. Okay, so that's what we have with dollar CAD for now. Regarding gold, the market finished for the sellers today. The open prices of the market are in this area, and the closing is going to happen below the open market. That means sellers are in control with gold. But gold, it is in the buy pressure area above the 1300. So if we sell gold, we better have good prices to sell. And good prices to sell with the gold means below the lows. That will be below 1321 with 33 and 33, and then we got more sell prices down below here, and then the sellers get more stronger after the 1316, you see. So if instead we have buy pressure next week for gold, we may consider buyers, but from at least 1326 with 43, 1327 with 19. That's where the buyers get a little bit stronger than the sellers. But like I said, today the market finished for the sellers. And what do we expect for the weekend and for the opening? We expect more sellers. And since we are in buy pressure area, if you want to sell, it's highly recommended to sell from the lows. That means in exactly this area, 1321 with 33 and 1320 with 06. Now regarding dollar yen, today also the market finished for the sellers, because the market opened basically, it opens here and the market is about to close here. So the closing is below the opening. That means the sellers are in control with dollar yen, but we are about the 110, that is a buy pressure area. So we consider a good price to sell dollar yen from and below the 110.71, 110.70. From there, yes, down to 110.44. And we don't consider to buy below 111. If we buy, it's going to happen about 111. If we sell, it's going to be from 110.70. So yes, this is actually for daily. This is for daily, yes. What I'm explaining now is for daily. So the levels that I'm giving here, it is to consider for the opening on Sunday, and as long as the prices are in the area that we are basically explaining now. If those prices are still available for the opening and for Monday, then we can consider these recommendations, yes. And then okay, so that's for dollar yen. Let's go now see for the DAX index. Well, the DAX index didn't give us that much of a range today, and of course it is in this buy pressure area. And if we consider sellers with the DAX index, sellers get and they start getting stronger with the DAX at this level, at the 12,500. Below 12,500, sellers getting more stronger, 12,500 down to 12,490. And above 12,500, then that is for the buyers. But since the buyers are not breaking the high, and then it's into a transition moment, it will not be a good idea to buy. But if instead the German index goes to the 12,531, that is to buy. That is to buy. So just remember that every time you enter and the opposite of the pressure of the area, you may have consideration that your risk is going to increase. Okay, and you have to monitor that order. That means if you sell German index, if you sell dollar yen, if you sell gold, if you sell euro dollar, or you buy dollar CAD, those orders are against the pressure in the area, and you got to monitor those orders. Now, if you do the opposite, then you are at the same, you are at the favor with the pressure of the area, so you can just, go with the flow and keep trading in as long as you are equally with the pressure in the area that you are trading with. If you're the opposite, you have to monitor your entries. You cannot keep long-term without entries. So that's all we have for next week. Let me check oil as well. Well, oil, we are below 50, which is sell pressure area, but at the moment there is not much range for oil, and we see that the buyers are actually in control, and sellers, they don't have that much power here with gold. But if we see gold towards 49.93, that means it's about to get to the 50s, and the 50s, buyers got more power. It's a very tricky area for oil, so I would not recommend it in this area. As long as you are far from the 49 or closer to 50, you're good to buy, and farther than 49, you are okay to sell. Okay. Alright, so that's what we got now. That's all we have for this weekend and for the opening. Next week, like I said, the market is going to start a little bit quiet on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday the crazy will kick in for the Federal Reserve interest rates. And what do we expect? Well, we expect interest rates to be kept. So the market maybe are just going to be consolidating with dollar, with cross pairs with dollar, and then on Wednesday, that's when they get their entries out of the market, and the dollar may basically correct. That's our impression for now, but we gotta see how the market behaves for Monday and Tuesday. And like we said, below 122 is not to buy dollar CAD. We don't see that much of opportunity, and euro dollar to sell in this area is not safe enough, so we better wait for 1943 in order to short euro dollar. And dollar yen, kind of like the same situation. If we sell, we have to be at least below 110.70, 71 down to 110.44. That's it. Alright, so this is all we got for now. We're gonna keep trading, also doing this market brief for next week. So keep tuned and wait for your registration link. The link that I send you, it is actually to trade live, not to have access to this market brief. To trade live, we already know how the market brief is going to be. And if you like more information, you can always go ahead and see our YouTube channel. We have more tutorials about price action and more information. Like, for example, this is the extended version of the market brief, the one that we have, the last one that we upload. And then we have information that we trade live. We have some information about, opinion about my trading for projections of the dollar. And there's a few interesting seminars that you may want to check about price action, price mapping, intraday scalper, the strategies and such. Okay guys, thanks so much, and I hope you have a great